Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Charles Swindoll. We all start the morning with a picture in our head of how things ought to go. You wake up, grab your cup of coffee, get your day going, and you expect the schedule you laid out to actually happen. It's normal to want a day where things just click, where your effort isn't met with constant friction. Most of us don't ask for miracles. We just want the traffic to move, the team to do their jobs, and the people around us to show a basic level of respect and common sense. When those things happen, it feels like everything is in control and on the right track. But what happens when reality doesn't match that picture? How do you react the moment a plan falls apart? Someone acts disrespectful or rude, or a minor setback throws a wrench in your day's schedule. I'm guessing something shifts inside you. You get irritated. You feel that spike of anger. You might catch yourself thinking, I shouldn't have to deal with this today. And it can feel justified in the moment. But here's the truth. That frustration isn't about high standards or bad luck. It's more about arrogance. The internal belief that the world owes you a smooth ride just because you showed up, you're working hard, and you've made a plan. And when you let a little inconvenience ruin your peace, you prove that your composure wasn't real. It was just dependent on circumstances going your way. We all know it. It's not like it never happens. It's there every morning before your feet even hit the floor. You know that traffic is going to be bad. There's going to be a lot to do at work. And inevitably, you're going to be given a project or a problem that wasn't on your to-do list. So then why do you still act surprised when it actually happens? When you step into your day expecting everything to run like clockwork, you know you're fooling yourself. You're basically unprepared for reality. Because true preparation isn't just about organizing your task list or setting a timeline. It's about getting your mind ready for the mess that's guaranteed to show up. If you only prepare for the ideal scenario, you haven't actually prepared at all. You've just built a house of cards that's going to collapse the moment life introduces a little turbulence. Anticipating the roadblocks isn't about being negative or cynical. It's being realistic. It's understanding that obstacles aren't an interruption to the work. They are the work. When you expect the friction before it arrives, it loses its power to throw you off balance. You don't lose your temper. You don't waste energy complaining. And you don't derail your entire day over a minor hitch in your giddy-up. You just execute. You make the adjustments. And most importantly, you keep your composure. And you move forward while everyone else is busy complaining about how unfair things are. Expecting smooth sailing isn't a form of confidence, but real preparation gives you the strength to navigate the storm without losing your edge. Because once you accept that the road is supposed to be rough, you can simply focus on how you drive. And let's get something straight. Friction isn't an anomaly. It's not a rare glitch in the system. And it's certainly not a personal conspiracy designed to ruin your day. To a degree, chaos is the baseline. Think about how much energy you burn every week being shocked by things that are completely normal. Congestion is normal. Technology crashes. People make mistakes, forget details, or just act selfishly. None of that should be a surprise. That's just probability playing out in real time. When you view these disruptions as abnormal events, you end up treating every minor hiccup like a crisis. You spend your morning fighting reality instead of dealing with it, as if the universe owes you a personal apology. But the universe doesn't know you exist, and it doesn't care about what you had planned for your day. The moment you shift your perspective and realize that friction is built into the system, you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you start asking, what's my play here? Friction isn't an obstacle thrown at you. It's the actual environment you operate in. High performers don't succeed because they found a secret path where nothing goes wrong. They succeed because they treat chaos as an anticipated cost of doing business. If you're waiting for a day where nobody interrupts you, nothing breaks, and everything goes according to plan, you might want to go back to sleep and finish your dream. And then once you accept that chaos is just part of the deal, you then have to look at where your emotional stability actually comes from. Most of us treat our peace like it's a special present given to us by our environment. If the day goes smooth, we feel calm. If things get out of whack, we fall apart. That's not peace. That's being a hostage. When your composure depends on the world behaving itself, you're handing over your remote control. You're letting a late delivery, a dismissive text message, or an incompetent coworker decide whether you get to have a productive day. Think about how dangerous that is. You're working hard trying to move your rock up the hill, but you've left your emotional control panel out in the open for anyone to mess with. You could allow a stranger on the highway to flip your switch and steal your focus for a few hours. Or a client's bad attitude ruins your dinner with your family. Real strength doesn't come from living in a bubble where nothing touches you. It comes from building an internal barrier that operates regardless of what's happening around you. Peace isn't something you passively discover. It's something you intentionally generate from within. It's a choice you lock in before you have that first cup of coffee in the morning. If your calm can be broken by a minor inconvenience, it was never real calm to begin with. It was just a temporary comfort. So stop letting the outside world dictate your inner tranquility and start taking ownership of the only thing you actually control, your reactions. Because when you lose your cool over a minor disruption, it's easy to trick yourself into thinking it's because you just care too much. You'll tell yourself that you're angry because you're overly invested in quality, or because you have a high standard, or because you're the only one that really takes things seriously. You understand that none of that is true, right? Your frustration isn't proof of high standards. It's simply confirmation of your own inflexibility. It exposes a gap in your ability to adapt. When a routine gets broken or what you expected doesn't happen, getting angry is just the easy, lazy reflex. It takes no skill or effort to throw up your hands and complain about how bad the situation is. What actually takes skill is pivoting. Think about what happens when you blow your top because a plan fell through. In that moment, you aren't demonstrating strength, self-control, or leadership. You're demonstrating how fragile you are. You're confirming to everyone around you that your mind and ego are so rigid and your operational capacity is so delicate that a simple change in a variable completely paralyzes you. Blaming the slow computer system, the client, or a coworker is a defensive measure. It's a way to redirect attention away from the fact that you didn't know how to handle the detour. You'd rather look like a victim of bad circumstances than admit you lack the composure to handle the unexpected situation. Remember, high standards aren't measured by how well you execute when conditions are perfect. Anyone can be a star player on a sunny day with no wind. Real capability is measured by how fast you stop whining, you assess the damage, and make the next right move when the field turns to mud. So the next time you feel that surge of irritation rising, call it what it actually is. It's not righteous anger. It's your ego throwing a tantrum because you ran out of answers. Which brings us to the ultimate trap, turning your daily friction into a personal tragedy. It's easy to slip into the habit of viewing every roadblock as a target attack against you. The usual traffic isn't just heavy, it's specifically happening to you at the worst time. Or the vendor didn't just mess up an order, they purposely intended to derail your deadline. And probably without even realizing it, you build this reassuring identity as a victim of circumstances. However, the victim mindset is the ultimate killer of progress because it feels so safe. Because when you convince yourself that external factors are in complete control of your day, You give yourself a free pass. You don't have to look in the mirror. You don't have to evaluate your lack of preparation, your poor time management, or your inability to control your temper. You'll fool yourself by shifting all the blame onto the world around you. But here's the reality. Playing the victim strips away your power. And when you allow yourself to believe that something outside of you is responsible for ruining your day, you've also decided that you're helpless to fix it. Taking ownership doesn't mean pretending that bad situations don't happen. It means refusing to let that situation dictate your standards, your output, or who you are as a person. You definitely don't get to control the weather. You don't get to control the drivers in the other cars next to you, or the personalities of the coworkers in your office. But you have absolute ownership over how you respond to them. Stop treating inconvenience like an injustice, and stop wearing your daily frustrations like a badge of honor. Put your head down, take responsibility for your effort, and own the outcome regardless of what the world throws at you. So tomorrow morning, when the first thing goes wrong, and you know it will, pay attention to the impulse that hits you. Then, before you open your mouth to complain, before you grip the steering wheel a little bit tighter, before you blame the schedule, your boss, or the person across the table, stop. Recognize what you're actually demanding from the world in that moment. Remember, you aren't fighting a disaster. You're just angry at the fact that reality had the nerve to step across your unwritten boundaries. And you're reacting because, deep down, you expected your day to bow to your convenience. The standard you hold yourself to isn't proven when the path is clear and everybody plays their part. It's measured in those moments when the friction hits and you adjust appropriately. You don't need a smoother day. You don't need better conditions, luckier timing, or more cooperative people around you. You just need to decide whether your composure is something you actually own, or if it's something you borrow from the circumstances that you like. The choice isn't up to the day. It never was. It's entirely up to you. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Until next time, stay sharp, stay grounded, and keep showing up.